Okay, for today's warm-up 927, I'm going to have you do all this work, write the words, and then try some on your own, what I've shown you. All right, today we're looking at ratios, seeing if they're equivalent, and then looking at ratios and finding that missing number. So again, we're going to ask you, are these equivalent? Are these equivalent? That means they have the same ratio or same value. You could prove that they have the same value if you could look at the numbers that I give you and see if you divide by the same number or times by the same number. So again, if I look at this 16 and 4, looks like I'm dividing by 4 to get that. If I take this 20 and divide it by that same 4 and it gives me 5, that proves that these are equivalent. If I could times or divide by the same number, top and bottom, and that's the same, that proves they're equivalent. So yes, those are equivalent. Or I could find the value. First word is black. Black. And again, value, you could take the two ratios and divide them on your calculator in that order. Always first one or top one first on your calculator. That gives me 0.8. If I use my 4 and my calculator divided by 5, that also gives me 0.8. That's another way to see if it's equivalent. If those numbers are different, that would be not equivalent. All right, next one. Looking at this 12, or looking at 2, looks like I'm dividing by 6 right there to get that 2. So if I could divide 24 by 6, well, that will spit out 4. So right there, that proves that there's nothing I could do top and bottom. There's no other combination I could do. These are not equivalent. No, not equivalent. And another way I could do that is find the value. Divide 12 by 24, and my calculator spits out 0.5. Divide 2 by 3, calculator spits out 0.6, repeating. So that is not equivalent by looking at ratios or finding the value. All right, I'm going to shrink this down and have you try the first set on your own. See if they're equivalent. Either use the ratio method where you're trying to see if it's the same number top and bottom, or use the value method, finding the value on your calculator. All right, next problem. And next word is red. Red. All right, the next kind of problem is finding the missing number in the ratio, whether it be given to you as a equation with equal and fractions or with two little ratios. So looking at this, if I could look at this 20 and look at 40 and see what I'm doing to 20 to get 40, looks like this I'm timesing by 2. If I do the same exact number to 6 up on top, that will give me what that ratio number has to be. So if I use my calculator to times that, spits out 12. That's what it has to be, 12. That's the number one way of doing that, finding the missing number in the ratio, finding what number you're timesing or dividing by, do same to top and bottom. Another way of doing it, which is a little bit more high tech, is pretending that this is an X right here. Let's delete this if I could. And finding that missing number by using algebra. You could put an X right here, and then always with an equal between two ratios, you can crisscross multiply. And what that does, one way, 20 times X gives you 20X. And then the other way, timesing 6 times 40 gives me 240. When I times 60 and 40, or 6 times 40. And then right there, to find that missing number x, all I'm doing is a little bit of algebra, dividing both sides by 20. And what that does is algebraically give me, and I believe that should be 12. An algebraic way of finding that missing number. I, again, would rather have you just do it the ratio way. All right, another one. So I got 6 to 5. I'm trying to find this missing number. The way I'd like you to do it is look at that 6 and that 18. See what I'm timesing that 6 by. It looks like I'm timesing that 6 by 3. So go over here to that 5 and times that 5 by that same exact 3 on your calculator. That will spit out the number that will keep those two values equivalent, same exact values. So that's the way I'd like you to do it. I don't really want you to do the algebra way. So again, find the number you're timesing or dividing and do that to the other number, the same exact thing. And you'll always get that missing number in a ratio. All right, let's shrink this down. I'm going to have you try this set right here. Again, trying to find that missing number by doing a little detective work. Looking at what I'm doing to 10 to get this 30, doing a little detective work. Looking at this 10 down here to get this 40, do the same to 3, do a little detective work. Next word is brown. Brown. All right, keep going. Next kind of problem is a missing number ratio problem, but it's words. So what they're doing is giving you number of dogs and having you find that missing number cats. And of course, they're giving you the ratio that it's equal to. So setting it up just like the others, I got this 20 number right here from my number of dogs. I have my unknown number of cats. That's the number you're trying to find. And then I have my other ratio, my 5 to 3. And again, do a little detective work. Look at that 20. Look at that 5. See what you're doing to 5 to get that 20. Looks like what I'm doing to that 5 is timesing it by 4. So if I do the same thing over here times that 3 times that 4, it will give me what that missing number has to be. It has to be 12. Same value. 5 divided by 3 is the same value as 20 divided by 12. So it's asking how many cats? 12 cats in the house. If I'm trying to keep that ratio the same. All right, let's shrink this down. Have you try your own set. This guy right here. So again, 10 dogs and some unknown cats. The main ratio is 2 to 7. See what I'm doing. Be a detective. All right, next problem. Next word is yellow. Yellow. All right, and then this one you have to know. Ratios where you're comparing unit rate. These are unit rate ratio problems where I deal with the units. So I got $180 and that's divided by 60 notebooks. When I divide that on my calculator, again, typing that top number divided by the bottom number, it will spit out the value of that ratio. So 180 divided by 60, calculator spits out 3, but that's not just 3, that's $3 for every one notebook. Those units don't just go away, they stay there. They're part of that answer, part of that unit rate answer. $3 for one notebook. Now if I do the same over here with 200, I could compare the two and see which one has a lower price. So if I divide over here, 200 divided by 80 gives me 2.5. And again, that's not just a plain number. Any whole number in the universe is over 1. That is $2.5 for every one notebook. And then now that I have both unit rates, now I can compare. The lower unit rate is this guy right here, because for one notebook, I'm only spending $2.5. The other store, I'm spending $3 for that same notebook. So that second store has a lower price. Lower price. All right, I'm going to have you do this last problem on your own. And the last word is tan. Tan. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Talk to you in a bit. Good job, peoples.